G'day and welcome back to the channel, Ginger Ninja's Movie Reviews. I'm the Ginger Ninja, and these are my Trashy Tuesday movie reviews. If you're new to my channel, thank you very much for tuning in, stopping by and checking it out. If you wouldn't mind, please do consider giving this video a thumbs up, it'd be much appreciated. And of course, if you're not already, please do consider subscribing to the channel. Now, what are we doing and what exactly is Trashy Tuesday? Trashy Tuesday is a series where I'm looking at the trashiest films that I can find. Now, a lot of these come from my childhood when I watched these movies as a kid and, just renting them out on VHS. And this one is no exception. Raiders of the Living Dead from 1986. I'll dive into this in a moment, but let's get into the nitty-gritty of it. The director is Samuel M. Sherman and Brett Piper. The film stars Scott Schwartz, Robert DeVoe, Donna Azali, Zita Johan, and Robert Allen, amongst many others. The plot. A newspaper reporter hears of strange goings-on a remote island. He travels there and finds that a mad scientist lives there and he is creating zombies. No, that's not it. Maybe they are on an island. I don't think they were, but no, this is a really weird film. I remember hiring this out and look, zombies, laser guns, mad scientists, and a plot that's got more holes in it than a fishing net. Today we're really diving headfirst into this glorious mess that is 1986's Raiders of the Living Dead. It's a film that's so 80s, it should come with a fog machine and a VHS button. It's not good by the traditional sense. This is a film that I recall watching this for two reasons. Turning a Laserdisc and a video player into a laser, it's probably why I like taking things apart so much nowadays. And that was the first reason. The second reason was a super cool and catchy theme song. I've had this song living rent-free in my head for many, many, many years. I had not seen this one, I would say, for a good 30 years. I saw it, like I said, I saw it in the 80s on VHS, like late 80s on VHS, and it's been living in my brain since then. I've not been able to find it, but I was able to find it on YouTube of all places. So yeah, glad I was able to revisit this one. But the film itself is a mess. But back when I first watched this, I didn't care. You've got a young kid as one of the main heroes who builds his own freaking laser beam. What's not to like?
Tuesday's never gonna plan. 80s horror in a blood of tan. VHS tapes got a midnight fan. Stop by 9 years, laser through the night. Alien wars and a neon fight. Android streaming, caught in freaking light. Trashy Tuesdays, it's a pure delight.
So, kicking it off with the cast, and look, as I said, when I first watched this, I really didn't look at the acting. I wasn't that phased on it. Looking back on it now, the performances aren't exactly Oscar worthy, but there is a certain charm to the cast. Scott Schwartz, he is best known for The Toy and A Christmas Story. He gives it a go with some enthusiasm, even if the material isn't doing him any favors. The rest of the cast, especially the adult characters, they seem rather awkward on screen, giving the film a very stiff, almost soap opera feel to it. And it lands that B-movie vibe, but it borders on very amateurish. And this is unfortunate, as the adult actors come off second best due to this. And the younger ones feel like they're having a blast with it. Like Scott Schwartz as Jonathan, he's living it up. He's living his best life in this one. It just comes off the wrong way. They give it a sort of, what's the best way? Are we done yet? can I go home now sort of feel to it when they're delivering their lines. Like when they're finished, they kind of look to the camera. Is that it? Can I go now? Yeah, there's very, very minimal life in any of the adult performances in this film. So now on to the directing and the writing. The making of the film itself is a rather interesting story. Brett Piper, and a lot of this is taken directly from IMDb. So Brett Piper said in an interview that he filmed a small, low-budget film called Dying Day, which Sam Sherman bought. Then he shot and added new footage and retitled it Raiders of the Living Dead and listed himself as director. Piper and Sherman didn't actually meet until years later. Now, this is one of the reasons why the film and the direction feels very disjointed throughout. Scene transitions feel abrupt, the pacing is so uneven, and there's little tonal consistency overall. However, the DIY vibe that it gives off, it gives it a strange low-budget magnetism for B-movie lovers. If you're a fan of B-movie films, then this should definitely be on your radar just for this aspect. The same goes for the writing. The script is very bare bones and often nonsensical. And this is probably due to the fact that they've made one film. They've had one film made, Dying Day, then chucked in a bunch of other things, stuck them together with super glue, and this is what we've got. Characters speak with a very stiff exposition. There are, like I said, there are gaps in this film. There are holes in this film. You could literally drive a truck through. Speaking of truck, the start of it makes no sense. The opening scene at the nuclear power plant where a guy, he hijacks a truck, then drives it to a nuclear plant, takes people hostage, and I still don't know why. The Jonathan, teenager, he casually building laser weapons in his grandpa's home, Look, that being said, the writing does have some very unintentional hilarity to it, and that gives it a very cult appeal. It is a case of so bad it's funny. Not good, just funny. And it's that kind of writing that I feel B-movie fans they will appreciate it. But I still don't understand that scene at the start. That still gets me. So if anyone can explain it to me, let me know. Now on to the effects. Ultra low budget doesn't even begin to describe what we have on offer here. Even some of the laser beam effects are left out and replaced with laser sound effects to save money. The laser weapon itself, which if I can find a picture, I'll put it up, but it's like a child's toy with like little pieces stuck onto it. And it's hilariously cheesy and when it does show the laser blast, it's kind of like a black and white electrical fire, like a shot of electricity, but black and white. It's weird. It's not good. Now, towards the end of the film, this is where things do pay off. A little bit. The zombie makeup varies very wildly in quality, from basic face paint to some actually decent, but again, inconsistent prosthetics. Now, while clearly made with little money, the effects have a scrappy, enthusiastic charm to it, and it does make them oddly endearing. You can see this guy here, face paint, but he's got a little bit of stuff down on his side. I'll pop a few images up if you can, if I can find some, because like I said, this is I might have to take some screenshots off YouTube and chuck them up, but this is a really hard film to find on physical, and I'm not sure about the images that I'll be able to find on the internet for it. So we'll see what I can do. Now, the zombie makeup in the opening scene, that looks awesome. The end sequence, that's good. However, it is the awesome track, The Dead Are After Me, written and performed by George Edward Ott. It is just, it's reminiscent of very Italian horror films of the era. And that song, again, if I can find it, I'm going to put it on here. It's, I don't know, it just resonates with me for some reason. And it's stuck with me for 30 years. So this is a fucking banger of a track. So now on to rewatchability. This is a tough one, as I've seen this movie twice now, maybe 3 times, but definitely twice. When I first saw it many years ago, it has stuck with me for that long. And we're talking 30 odd years. So this film has had some influence on me. However, it's taken me this long to rewatch it. And that is only because I couldn't find it on physical media. But like I said, it is on YouTube. I'll pop the link below. Check it out for yourself. See what you think. So will I rewatch this one? Maybe. But man, it'll just be for that opening track, The Dead Are After Me. That thing rocks. Final verdict. Raiders of the Living Dead. Very similar to Return of the Living Dead. So and given the year it was released, I'm pretty sure that probably had a factoring on it. But it's an odd movie. It's a movie that's born out of recycled parts, made on a shoestring budget, and aimed squarely at horror enthusiasts who nowadays will appreciate that schlocky drive-in fare. It doesn't revolutionize the genre in any way, and it doesn't leave a big impact on the horror scene, but it has earned a footnote in the annals of 1980s B-movie history due to its strange production and its cheesy ambition. The fact that it is 2 movies made into one helps with that. It also detracts from the actual feel of the film. And while it's not as influential in the traditional sense, it serves as an example of how low-budget films can still find a niche audience, especially in the VHS era. Today it's definitely more of a curiosity piece and a must-watch. But if you're a lover of campy horror, it offers a very nostalgic, hilariously bad ride. Overall for a score, Raiders of the Living Dead gets a 3.5 out of 10. And there you have it. That is my review of Raiders of the Living Dead. Have you seen this movie? I'm guessing, I don't hear a lot of people talking about it, so I'm guessing not. But look, I will pop the link down below. Go check it out for yourself. See what you think of it. Hey, am I right? Am I wrong? Let me know down in the comments below after you've watched the movie, because I'd be keen to hear your thoughts on this one. Like I said, it's definitely had an influence on me 30 odd years later. And that song, that soundtrack still pumps through my brain every damn day. Not a bad thing, but probably not a good thing either. That's probably not healthy. But anyway, before I dribble on too much, thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, please do hit that thumbs up button. Be much appreciated. And of course, hit the subscribe button. If you've listened to me dribble on about this film for so long, you may as well, because we've got some other ones I'll be talking about coming up very soon. Hit that notification bell so that way you're notified every time I do release a new review. Anyway, on that note, thank you very much for watching. Have a great day. Bye.
In the shadow sharp as a blade, 60 seconds in like a fast-paced raid. The energy is breaking down.